Let's do some Star Wars news.
Okay.
Tell me what has happened in the world of Star Wars.
Well, let's talk about The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I like that.
So we got an official date.
Yes.
The Mandalorian Season 3 is coming March 1st of next year.
Yes. That was because I think it was originally supposed to be in February, and I think they moved it.
Which is
to
an
be
incredibly Disney thing to do.
Yeah, it's
they
like
do these like 2 or 3 week delays all the time.
Yeah, and in fact, it wouldn't have surprised me if it ended up being like exactly a month from when we thought it would be.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's see.
There's a lot of crazy shit going on.
There's a lot of interesting news about The Mandalorian. So over the weekend, we got a release from the Writers Guild of America about the writers credits for the individual episodes.
Yes.
So we know there's going to be 8 episodes in this season. Jon Favreau has writing credits for all 8 of them.
Yes.
Dave Filoni has credits for 2 of them, and Noah Kluwer has credits for 1 of them.
Yes.
So I'm sure you know Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Noah Kluwer was a staff writer on the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh,
So
okay. Did he? How many? I was about to look up his writing credits. How many of the Book of Boba Fett?
I think he was listed on all of them, but he wasn't like the lead writer on any of them.
Okay.
So the easy predictions to make here are that there's going to be 1 episode that includes Boba Fett or I forget the name of his henchwoman, Ming-Na Wen's character.
Yeah. Oh God, I haven't seen that show.
Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shand.
Yeah,
okay. Here's the thing. We do every before the new show comes out, we've been doing these recaps in like 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
We haven't done this Mando season 2 yet. It feels like it happened so long ago.
Yeah.
And
we need to do that for Bad Batch actually, because that's coming up too.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. That's
Bad Batch
true.
and then Mando is the burner there.
So yeah, I think that's a perfectly fine expectation that like there'll be some light Boba stuff in it, probably not a lot.
It's also possible that they're just grooming Noah Kluwer for bigger and better things. And
I like how you look down at his name to make sure.
Yeah.
I would have forgotten it too.
And they're trying to work with Jon Favreau for this episode to make sure you get some experience.
Yeah. The thing that really catches my attention is Dave Filoni.
Yes.
Because
so the instant expectation there is that Ahsoka Tano is going to appear in 1 or both of those episodes.
Yes. I think it's
because I don't think Dave Filoni lets anyone else write Ahsoka.
Yeah. And like, that's cool. And it like stuff's gearing up for Ahsoka. We're gonna start seeing trailers for it at some point. So
I would expect
sense.
I wouldn't expect a ton of it before Mandalorian, but at some point.
Probably afterwards though. After the
we also know that a couple of the directors involved confirmed is Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, good.
Carl Weathers and Rick Famuyiwa. I'm terribly mispronouncing that name. They also have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni around, so it's almost certain one of them is going to direct at least 1 episode.
Yeah, I'm wondering, did Carl Weathers have other directing credits on The Mandalorian before?
It seems likely, but I don't know.
Huh. That's cool. I'm not like immediately familiar with what kind of work he does. I can tell you that I love seeing him in The Mandalorian. I think he's great.
I think it's an easy slam dunk to expect that any episode in which he's acting, he would be directing.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Or at least one of the episodes he's acting in.
You know who's not directing any of the...
Gina Carano?
Gina Carano's not, no. Poor Gina Carano.
Speaking of...
She's probably doing a fucking Ben Shapiro movie or something.
Probably. So at the Comic-Con experience in Brazil this past weekend, Disney had a panel. And Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni appeared via a videotaped segment.
Yeah,
where they
we're not going to Brazil.
Yeah, where they talked up The Mandalorian. I'm just going to read a quote from them. Quote,
do it. Read it.
We like to keep surprises so that each week as we tune in, we get to discover things. Hopefully, unexpected things occur. I think it was really wonderful that everybody that worked on the show was able to keep Grogu a secret until he was revealed in the first episode. Also with Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker appearing in season 2.
Yeah.
Not everything is going to be a big surprise like that, but each week it should be something unexpected happening. And that's the idea of having a serialized television show where what's nice about it compared to a film is that every week everybody gets to see a chapter and discusses it and guesses what's going to happen next, unquote. So that phenomenon he's talking about is nothing new. Disney didn't pioneer anything.
No, this is how you do serialized television. Yeah.
It was perhaps perfected by your favorite show of all time, Game of Thrones, where there would just be people screaming at each other on the internet for hours on end.
Oh, before that, that's probably more of a Lost thing, actually, as a cultural phenomenon where everyone comes together to kind of like freak out about their theories, and like, you know, it's probably Lost before Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones definitely was a much larger scale cultural phenomenon than Lost was.
Yeah.
And Lost was pretty, like, back in the day, it was pretty huge. Yeah.
Pedro Pascal was actually in Brazil for this, I believe, and he said much the same thing about how they're planning these secrets and surprises and all sorts of fun stuff.
It makes you wonder what it is. Look, they're not gonna top Luke Skywalker, I don't think.
No.
In season 2. I doubt that we'll even see him again in season 3. I don't think we're done with Luke Skywalker. I think he's going to show up somewhere else, but I don't think that he's going to show up in The Mandalorian anymore. I think they're kind of done with that.
You have to be extremely careful about where you put Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Because he just raises the stakes of everything.
Yeah.
So much.
And also we've talked about this before. It's one of the reasons why I think in Mando season 2, they kept him for the last 4 minutes of the episode, because once you saw that X-Wing, nothing else mattered. And it's just, he's like a black hole for everything. Like it just, everything is about him. And that's why he only got like 4 minutes, because otherwise, and that's one of the reasons that he's kind of a problem in the Book of Boba Fett. Not that I didn't love seeing Luke Skywalker, my fucking boyhood hero, on, you know, again, looking a lot better CG wise, by the way. I was not thinking about Boba Fett even for 1 second during the Luke Skywalker scenes. So it's like, there are other weird things coming together for that show too. Like Babu Frick's gonna be in it, and like, I think obviously Ahsoka is going to be somewhere. That's maybe some of the surprises they're talking about as well. But I think that they're probably going to be. There's a lot of Mandalorian stuff they need to flesh out on screen that like only exists in the lore and stuff. So I think that they've probably got some cool stuff planned.
Well, speaking of actors and characters that we know are returning, so we know Carl Weathers obviously is coming back. Katie Sackhoff, of course, we've seen her in trailers.
She's going to be. I think she's going to be a big player.
I think so season. Too. Emily Swallow, who's the actor who plays the armor.
Okay, yeah,
the Mandalorian. She's. I put her up there with Pedro Pascal as being able to act extremely well with her body and with her voice, like the intonation and rhythm with which she says things to impart special meaning to them.
I bet that she's really good friends with that guy from Andor who hits the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet, or at least they know of each other. You know, like they see each other walking down the street and they just give each other a nod. Like I bet that's the kind of thing happening there.
We also know Giancarlo Esposito is coming back, which is always a good sign because he's a great actor.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like he was obviously captured at the end of Mando season 2. Like, is he going to be an information source while captured, or because he was ISB, and especially with Andor, since we know how crazy the ISB can be, like I think he's gonna escape. He's gonna end up being a problem just all the time for everyone. Because I think he'd be an interesting character in that respect. Like he gets away, like they're not looking at him, and he like pulls a paperclip like out of his rectum and like gets out of his handcuffs and shit, and like he's like away and shit.
We also know that Amy Sedaris is coming back, and
well, of course, you can't do Mandalorian without Amy Sedaris.
I hope we see more of Amy Sedaris and her Jawa boyfriend.
Yeah, she's a really fun addition. Actually, it's the thing I don't like about Amy Sedaris in the Mandalorian, though. I really love her. I think she's a brilliant comedian, and this doesn't take away really anything, but you can tell like she reads the scripts. Like this is particularly true when they're doing the Hot Rod Naboo Starfighter thing, where she'll read the script and it'll be like a bunch of like Star Wars jargon, and you know that she's like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what are all these words?" And then they're like, "Just say the words," and she's like, "Okay," and then she says them, and you can tell in her mind she's like, "Oh God, I don't know what these words are." Like, well, I'm just gonna say them.
We also know that Omid Abtahi is returning as Dr. Pershing, which is not a name that I would have expected.
Yeah, there's a whole thing that like there's a whole thread that's just hanging there that everyone forgot about because of Luke Skywalker. That's what we're talking about, man. Yeah. Luke shows up, nothing else matters. they set up a whole clone thing with a dude in a tank and shit. And I didn't remember that because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it just like it's
because it was Luke Skywalker cutting through 1 billion Dark Troopers.
And that's obviously directly related to Grogu. And like they've got to like expand more of that. And you know what? I bet some of that stuff is going to be some big like, oh my God, what the fuck kind of moments in the new season.
Yeah. They also showed a trailer at the expo, but nothing has gotten online of it.
Yeah.
Apparently Grogu uses the Force to throw people around and stuff. It's great.
Well, we've seen that before.